We
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, all right. This is real. So for those of you who are unaware, I'm Graydon from Graydon Skincare, the founder and mind behind the brand. And welcome to my kitchen, which is really where all the magic happens for real. And my kitchen often doubles as my office too. And I'm delighted to introduce you to Sara Elise, who actually, I'll hand it over to you, Sara. You can speak better about yourself than me.
Thanks. Yeah, it's nice to meet you guys. I even see a few familiar faces, which is really nice. I'm Sara. My actual last name is Gordon, but I call myself Sara Elise. That's my astrology name. And I'm a professional astrologer. I live in Toronto, Canada, but I work mostly international. I have clients all over the world, and it is my greatest privilege and honor in this lifetime to help people fall in love with themselves and to help just bring the light of their own consciousness into their reality and to love them in that way. So that's what I do every single day, and I pinch myself daily. But today, Graydon has invited me to come and do a little educational bite with you. She reached out to me a few weeks ago. I was so delighted to come and do this for you guys, for her community. And we're going to be talking about the lunar cycle today. So we're going to be getting into some details about what that means and how we can work with it on a conscious level in our lives. And yeah.
I'll just really interrupt, but Sara, I love how you talk about just your work is about helping people to love themselves. And that is really very connected with the whole notion of self-care. And yes, of course, we make products at Graydon Skincare and we love doing that, but really it boils down to feeling good about yourself. Our skin is the first impression that we make to other people and the first thing that we see, brushing our teeth in the morning. And really my vision and goal is that you can truly love and be who you are, and that your skin, nourishing yourself from the inside out and the outside in, is your vehicle to do that. And I think this is where I was amazed, like the intersection between Sara's work and our work in terms of caring for oneself is really remarkable, and that the lunar cycle can really help support you in your journey of caring for yourself. So this is mostly going to be Sara talking, and then I will just rudely interrupt from time to time, and we will talk a little bit about product too. But yeah, but on that note, back to you, Sara, because you have some great visuals to share, because I think everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Graydon. I just want to say that you're right, and as we kind of come into this part of our history, as we sort of progress into this next era on this planet, we really are being called into a deeper relationship with ourself and with our earth, with the mother, with each other, right? There is a feminization, if that's even a word, that is going on, and it's invoking a certain amount of depth and authenticity and an ability for us to take responsibility for ourselves and to realize that the way we care for ourselves is actually how we care for others, and it's how we care for the planet. And it is a female-led revolution, I have noticed, not necessarily only for women, but it is being led on the back of more of like a feminine ethos or a feminine value system of collectivity and connection, nurturing and nourishment. And that is what I do astrologically. And that is also what the lunar cycle is about. I call the lunar cycle a gateway drug to astrology because it is like the tip of the iceberg. But what is so beautiful about the lunar cycle is that every single one of us is impacted by it. And it is literally the closest and most intimate soul cosmic cycle that we can tune into, right, in our lives. Because every single month that moon goes all the way around the earth, 360 degrees. It goes through every single astrological archetype. It goes through one entire revolution from new to full to new again every 29 and a half days. And so it is an easy entry to starting to create a conversation between ourself and the cycles of nature and the cycles of the cosmos. And essentially what that means is learning how to tune into our intuition, learning how to tune into our bodies, our feelings, our souls, ourselves, our centers, and each other, right? It all works together. And so, yeah, so I'm thrilled by the cohesion between our work as well. And that is exactly why I am here and why I am so excited to share all of this with you guys today. I'm going to pretend that you guys know absolutely nothing about the moon cycle. I'm going to teach you as though you were in kindergarten. And then we're going to build on it. So every single week, the objective here is for us to meet for 30 minutes or so and to go through kind of a top line of how you can work with the moon cycle that we're in right now. Today, October the 6th, is our new moon. So a couple of hours ago, the moon and the sun were at the exact same degree in Libra. They're in the archetype of Libra this month. And when that happens, you get the earth here, like my head is the earth. You get the sun over here, and the moon comes in between the sun and the earth. So there is no light being cast upon the moon. It is completely dark. You cannot see it at the new moon. And that is the beginning of the 29-day cycle. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what the lunar cycle is overall, and then how each one of you can go away after this call and create a ceremony or create some kind of an intention, and to start this process of working with the moon cycle this month for yourself now. Okay, so I will teach you how to do that. And I will also teach you what to do kind of in another 3 days from now, right? As we hit the second cycle, because I won't be talking to you again for 7 days. So I'll sort of set you up so that you kind of know what to do this whole week before we see you again, okay? So to start with, I'd really like to show my screen for a second. So I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna show you a visual. This is a visual that I create. Oh, I need to be able to share my screen. So Natalie, is it possible for you to make me the host for a second or to give me permission? You would go into participants view, you would find my name, and there are 3 little dots next to my name, and you'd have to go in there and give me permission to show my screen. And I'm gonna share a visual.
I just want to thank everybody for being so patient. We actually, we've never done a Zoom before. So we usually do Google Meet. So we're learning as we go.
But learning as we go. All right, so this is the moon cycle. Okay, this is a visual that I created in 2020 with my partner, Polly. We led a 3-month immersion, an immersive moon school. Some of my graduates are actually here with us today. And this is a wonderful visual. So I just want you guys to follow with me, okay? Follow my cursor. So this is where we are today. This is the new moon. It's the darkest part of the month. There's an emptiness and a void. Imagine for a second that the darkness represents the feminine. The darkness represents pure potential, emptiness, void space, and fertility. Okay, and as we go, after about 2 days after the new moon, so probably on Friday, you're going to start to see a little tiny slip of light, right? And that is when we enter what's called the waxing crescent phase. Waxing is just a word that we use for when the moon is growing. Waning is the word we use for when the moon is getting smaller, okay? So the waxing crescent leads to the first quarter. Then the waxing gibbous, that basically means the moon is pregnant. She's big, but she's not all the way full. And then we hit the full moon. and we start to decline. So we start to wane, and the light gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and it goes back to new. So each one of these phases has a purpose and a way that you can tune in energetically and utilize the power of the moon to facilitate your own growth, to facilitate your own experiences and your own manifestation. And that's what we're going to be teaching you today. So if you want to take back the host, Natalie, you're welcome to. I think that's all I need. I just wanted to show people the visuals so they got a sense of what the moon cycle is. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about kind of what the moon cycle is on an aggregate or on a macro level. So every day, the moon looks different, right? There's a different amount of light that we can see being reflected back to us on Earth. And the sun is the thing we're seeing, okay? Can you just imagine for a second, the only reason why we see the moon at all is because the sun is shining on it. And that sun, that solar energy, comes to us on the Earth in a gradation cycle or in a phase cycle. We can't take the solar energy or the solar information in all at once. If you go outside and stare in the sun, you're going to go blind. It's just too much, right? That intense force can't come into us all at once. So the moon cycle, the lunar cycle, according to Dane Rudhyar, who was probably the most famous astrologer of the 20th century, he says of the lunar cycle that it is a quote unquote cycle of transformation and an indirect way of spiritual attainment. So essentially what he's saying is that we on planet Earth use the moon cycle for our evolution, for our personal growth and development, and for our spiritual unfolding, our spiritual development, okay? Now, why does he say that? Because the solar force, or the masculine principle, that big radiant light, it comes into the people on Earth or the organisms on Earth in a very gentle, gradual way. Right? And the moon cycle is how it is communicating to us and how it is sending its energy into our depth, into our darkness, into our subconscious, and into the feminine part of what we are. It's like we are literally being penetrated by the masculine force every day through the moon. So everything in this planet seems to work in masculine, feminine, right? Negative, positive, dark and light. That's how we operate. That's just our way. It has nothing to do with whether you are a man or a woman. We all have feminine and masculine within us. And this yin yang cycle is incredibly important when we're working with the moon, because it's really important to understand that we can't just always be on. We can't always be awake. We can't always be in the day, right? We can't always be yang. We have to go dark. We have to go receptive. We have to power down. We have to go slow. We have to go in. That's the feminine. And so the moon cycle, as you follow it around, will oscillate. Every one of these tiny little 8 phases is going to have a different quality of energy. The first one is a yang. The second one is a yin. The third one is a yang. The fourth one is a yin. The fifth is a yang, and so on, all the way around to the new moon again. And so when we're working with the cycle, we have to kind of change our energetic relationship to ourselves depending on whether we're in a yang cycle or a yin cycle. And so as we kind of get used to this, it's a little bit complicated at first. You're like, what's she talking about? I don't understand. So I'm going to make it really, really, really simple for you. You're going to understand after we finish. But essentially, the big picture point is when we tune into the moon cycle, we're tuning in to a way that we can increase the sense of balance within ourselves between our own masculine and feminine. We're learning how to come into a harmonious relationship with nature. We're learning how to listen and to act at appropriate times. And we're learning about the secrets of manifestation, right? The secrets of manifestation, which really mean if you want to manifest in your life, it's a co-creative experience, not just you alone. You have to go into partnership with something more than you. So that's what we're here for. And I think I am going to, if you have anything to add, Graydon, I will kind of start to explain the cycle that we're in right now and how people can work with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. You're doing great. And even though this is familiar information, I just can't get enough of it. Like, it is really a layering process, and it a little bit more seeps in every time. So no, I would dive right in. And do you want to share your screen again, or like with the chart, or I'll leave it to you. You're the expert.
I could share my screen if you want to look at the visuals with me, but I think what I'd like to do is just describe the phase that we're in right now.
Sure.
And how you guys can use it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do for this month. I'm going to give you some pretty clear instructions. The first thing I want you to do this month is I want you to choose an intention. Okay, it's something that you are going to be working with all month as we flow through the lunar cycle. So this intention is really important because it's a seed. You're going to plant it. The new moon is the time of planting. We set our intention, we cast our dream, we make our wish, we plant our seed. That is what we do at the newness of the moon, when there is no light at all. It's the time when we can go into our own depth. We can listen deeply inside of ourselves to our heart and to our soul's song. And we can decide what it is that we truly need, or that we really need to make happen, or the thing that is standing in our way from being our best self right now, right? These can be very subtle things. They can be, for instance, you could make a change. I have this reaction pattern that always gets in my way in my relationship. I want to change that. That is an amazing seed to plant, right? Especially in the month of Libra, which is all about relationships. Last month, in the month of Virgo, my seed was, because Virgo is all about health, healing, and wellness, and the body and service, I said to myself, I want to re-engage my yoga practice. That's it. I've been, COVIDed. I am so tired of not doing yoga. I'm going back. I'm going to go back to my studio. I'm going to take responsibility for my diet. And so that was my seed that I worked with last month. And I was extremely successful, and I'm very grateful for that. And now we start a new one. So you can work with something very external, right? Like an actual habit pattern that you want to change, or something you want to bring into your life that you want to do different. Or you can work internal, like a slight character, something that you want to change inside yourself, like a reaction pattern or a habit pattern or a way that you feel. You can also use the moon cycle to pull things toward you. For instance, a partnership, a relationship. These are things that you can use, but I would recommend this time, as we go through this, to kind of keep it a little bit more simple, because when we plant a big seed, like often there's a lot of work that we need to get there. Like, for instance, the relationship seed. I mean, you may like to think that you're ready for a relationship, but the universe might have might have a whole laundry list of things that you need to make an adjustment on before you're ready to go there. So it's not always possible to see like immediate results within one cycle for really big intentions or really big seeds that you want to plant. So if you want this month to choose something kind of small and easy and manageable that you can actually make a difference on, that you can see, then I will teach you what to do with that intention at each point along the way, okay? So today we're in the new moon, so we're going to choose our seed. We're going to choose our intention. After we choose it, and I want this to be really embodied, like I want this to be something that really matters to you and that you can feel, it's something personal. After that, what I generally like to do, and it's not necessary, you don't have to go to all this detail. You can really just sit in your backyard or on your patio and do this in a meditation. You can sit in your bed if you want to. Doesn't matter. You can sit in the bathtub. But what the point is to just kind of create a sacred space for yourself. Mm. Sometimes people find it really lovely to create a ceremonial space or an altar, and to light a candle or to put something on the altar that makes you feel connected to yourself and connected to the earth and connected to the 4 elements. You can put something representing air, earth, water, fire, and spirit. If you know how to do a centering and grounding exercise, it's a good idea before you set your intent, before you cast your seed, to really spend a moment to come into yourself, to invoke whatever the God of your own understanding. I'll steal a quote from the 12-step program. This is non-denominational. So, but it is important, I find, to kind of set your intent and set the sacred space, right? So just to take a moment to connect to your heart, to call in your guides, to call in the energy of the four directions, whatever it is that works for you. And then you sit down and you cast your seed. And what does that mean, to cast a seed? Well, I think it really means to feel it entirely, right? To hold it in your emotional body, in your mental body, and in your physical body. And to kind of imagine that you're becoming it, holding it, seeing it, manifesting it, and then to let it go, right? You kind of cast it off into the universe. Some people like to write it down. I find it very helpful to write it down. And Jan Spiller, who's a really well-known kind of moon astrologer, suggests when you write it down, you want to do it in one simple sentence that is very positive and clear. So I don't want this, or I want this to go away, or like, just don't use the negative wording. Try to cast the seed in a positive light that is kind of has an uplifting energy, because the energy of hopefulness is what drives us forward. It's the energy of despair takes us down. So you want to kind of
I am very really interrupting, but I'm just wondering if this would be helpful, and I also want to be conscious of our time. But as some people know, part of my journey getting into skincare was teaching yoga for, I don't know, 17 years or so. And so I just wanted to actually, in terms of what Sara is saying, I just wanted to demonstrate how I might do that too. Because if you're not sure, we could all actually do this together, and I don't have to see what you look, but I find I don't know if you noticed a few minutes ago in the session, I actually brought my hands up to my face, and using the knuckles of my thumbs, I put them in my third eye area, and my palms are together, but there's a little space, and that's where I imagine my seed, as if it's germinating. And sometimes I rub my hands together to give warmth to my seed, or put my hands over my heart. And then as Sara was saying, when I feel that the time is ready, then I will bring that energy up and open my heart and wiggle my fingers and let it go, as if you've seen almost like the dandelion, and all the seeds just go up into the universe. And this is something that I repeat on a daily basis. Even Natalie, we're on calls all the time, and you'll often see me close my eyes and put my hands right into my third eye like that. So I'm just sharing what works for me in terms of how I manifest. And honestly, the skincare line would not be here without this type of work. And it's a miracle, actually, that I'm the founder of a small, emerging, but mighty skincare line. And it wouldn't be truly without the type of work that Sara is talking about. So I just wanted to personalize it.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Because
I love
sometimes it can be just a bit esoteric, or just hard to. You don't have, even if altars are wonderful, and so bathtubs and everything, but you could be in the middle of a bus station, with or wherever, and you can go within and feel your energy. So that's all I needed to say. And of course, you could have a little intimacy oil in the palms of your hands too, and you could focus on your breath work. But that's, I digress. Over to you, Sara.
That's absolutely stunning. I love that. I love the imagination of it being kind of like a little womb space, right? And you're birthing your seed into the womb space, and you're releasing it into it's stunning. And you're so right. You do not need anything special to do this in terms of an altar space or anything. It's just, it really is about you and your energy and your connection. That's what it is. It's about the intention. So when we're in the new moon phase, it is a yang phase. That means this is an active phase, and you can feel how much action you are taking by setting that seed, casting that intention, setting that goal, making that wish. This is kind of this is when you step forward and do something. This is your moment to kind of assert yourself. Now, the next phase, as we enter into the next phase, which is the crescent phase, so when we're just going to see a tiny slip of light, and that's going to be kind of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, okay? Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the crescent phase. As we get into those 3 days, our energy is going to change. So right now we have a lot of yang energy. We're gonna command our intent, and we're gonna hold that, and we're gonna release it. And then you can affirm it. You don't, like, just because you release it doesn't mean you shouldn't keep thinking about it. You can affirm it in your body. You can hold it. You can give it as a prayer anytime you want. The new moon phase is the day before, the day of, and the day after the new moon. So it's all the way to the end of tomorrow. And this is a time when you can take action to feel it and embody it and declare it inside yourself energetically. The next phase, however, we want you to pull right back from that. Okay? Yes.
Sara, I'm just going to be the rude person just to say that we're at 12:58, and I just want to be mindful of everybody's time because we do have some special announcements, and we haven't even scratched the surface. But I think everybody can see that there's so much richness here, and it can seem overwhelming and complicated, but it's also incredibly simple and accessible at the same time. And I just, if people need to go plant their seeds, I just wanted to share that we had some special offers. And also, I know that you were briefly going to talk about just how you use certain products for your yin moments, and then you blend some together to add a little yang to the yin, which is kind of really like making skin smoothies. I'm totally interrupting you, but I just think we should get, and then.
No, I know. And I probably just have another 2 minutes to discuss like the next cycle. So we can totally, I think we can fit it all in. We just might go like 3 minutes over.
Yeah,
Okay.
quickly, just if anyone needs to go at 1, we will send you a recording. Yeah. So don't worry. And you will all get that.
Yeah, and well, and again, I'm just going to announce what the special offer is, because that is part of clearly you're all skincare lovers and hopefully Graydon lovers too. But 2 of our most yin products, like deeply nurturing products, are our aloe milk cleanser, which is truly my favorite product of our whole collection. If I don't wash my face with this morning and night, my skin is really unhappy. So it's a lovely, creamy, milky cleanser, very nourishing and gentle, but incredibly thorough at cleansing your face. And also our putty, which is just, as this weather gets colder and I just feel like, and there's dampness, I need a hug, not an invasive hug, just like a really good, feel good hug. And also our full moon serum, which hopefully some of you are aware of. And so this is like Black Friday, Cyber Monday good deal. Like we're offering 30% off on these products.
That's amazing. Those are really incredible products too. I've been using those all month and they're amazing. Oh my God, I couldn't say it. I've never met a product like yours, Graydon.
Thank you.
My skin is happier than it has ever been in my whole life.
I thought I should just mention nearly all of our products are vegan. The putty does have manuka honey in it and some beeswax, and we actually are planning on reformulating putty and to make it vegan, but I just wanted to be very clear. I would never want to misrepresent a product or inadvertently for somebody to purchase it and then not to align. But the putty is very good for red, dry, irritated skin, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, and the ingredients really do work synergistically. But yeah, just full disclosure. So this is only available. This offer is only available for 24 hours. And Natalie, I think, can actually put the link in the chat. Or if you're not looking for the link, just look for Moon Bites put Moonbites in the search bar, and you will see, and I think the actual promo code is Moonbites. So it's pretty easy to remember. And that's all I have to say. Back over to you, Sara.
Okay, thanks. I totally get that you had to communicate that. That's all good. Okay, so you guys, so today you know what you're going to do, right? You're going to create an intention, and you are going to cast that intent into the universe, and you're taking action. It is a yang phase. In about 2 days, you are going to pull your energy back. Okay, so this is a co-creative cycle. That means you're creating it with the universe. This is not just you. This is not a push all the time, which is kind of what we're trained to do in our culture. We're kind of trained to push all the time. This is about being able to pull back and receive information equal to the amount that you are pushing forward with your will force. So the second phase, imagine for a second, your little seed intent is going to enter the universal environment of your life and the greater community that you live in, and the family that you live in, and the humanity that you live in. So it will change. It will change, because sometimes our little wills don't know everything. We're pretty smart, but we don't know it all. So the second phase is about pulling back and allowing the seed to enter into the current environment, and then letting the universe tell you about what it is you need to adjust or change or not to your seed intent. So it's kind of like you have to really pay attention to what is alchemizing. And the way you do this is by sort of powering down. This is the perfect time for self-care, for gentleness, right? This would be when you would just want to have that beautiful bubble bath, and you would want to go really quiet, and you would want to think and contemplate on your seed, and you would want to receive and ask questions like, what is it that I need to change? How could I be adjusting this? What is the nuance or the shift of what is really kind of wanting to be born from this intention? And you listen to your body, you listen to your intuition, you listen to yourself, and you take time to kind of calm your energy down enough to do that. Okay, so so during the yang phase, we're a little bit excited, we're active, we're zippy, we're doing. And during the yin phase, we power down and we go into the void and we go into the receptive. That does not mean you're being lazy, and it does not mean you're not doing anything. In fact, quite the opposite. These two things have to happen in equal balance. And, since we are here, in Graydon's reality, in Graydon's community, one of the ways that I have been playing around with her products in the last 30 days or so is by kind of alternating what I use based on whether I'm in a yin or yang phase, right? So I've kind of like been cooling myself down or watering down my face ritual or my self-care ritual during the yin phase, and kind of picking it up and activating it during the yang phase. And it's been really lovely. And I've been spending extra time in the yin phase to kind of massage my body or put things into my body and just do extra self-care stuff. So Graydon and I are fascinated to know how we can kind of correlate her products with the cycles of the moon, if that's even possible. So if you guys want to be a bit of a test market for that and tell us what you're coming up with, or whether it's resonating for you, whether you're playing around with it, that'll be really cool. I'm playing around with it. So
I know. I think we have to create a yin smoothie and a yang smoothie.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. So that all the way around, because it's part of, the self-care is part of the ritual as well, right? It's all together. It all works together.
Yeah.
So anyway, next time we meet, we're going to be talking about the first quarter phase. And so I think you have enough information to leave it at that, and we'll see you in a week's time. I highly recommend you guys start a moon journal, and at least keep a little record of what's going on for you as you go through this, if you want to do this with us, if you want to do it together.
Right. And I was just going to say, Sara, could we share your infographic with people who are interested? Maybe we could do it after the fact, or we could discuss that.
We can discuss that after. Yeah, let's discuss that after.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Also, I wanted to say that Sara runs a program called Moon School. And if you're interested in this and in learning to love who you are and be who you are, then you're a really great candidate for Moon School, where she will dive a lot deeper on all of this. So this is a great sort of introduction. And I think that by next week, Sara will have more information to share on that.
I can share some more information with you next week, since we're out of time today.
So we'll send a reminder email to tune in next week. So grateful to have you here. We also love feedback. So if you have any suggestions, don't hesitate to either email us, DM us on social, on our chat on the website. Excuse me, a little hoarse there. And we hope to make this great. And we plan to have a secret special offer that will not be available to anybody unless they're tuning into Moon Bites. So there you go. I hope this was a worthwhile 38 minutes of your life.
I always go a little over time. It's true.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Graydon.
Good. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.